well to talk a bit more about some of those legal challenges that the president is facing. We're joined now by Mike Davis. He's founder of the Article 3 project, which aims to confirm Conservative justices to the Supreme Court. Mike, thanks for joining us here on BBC News. Would you have anticipated the number of legal challenges that President Trump is facing?
President Trump campaigned on the fact that he's going to secure our border. He's going to deport illegal aliens, all of whom are criminals. And he's going to focus on Tren de Aragua and MS-13 foreign terrorists. He's going to set up the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, with Elon Musk. He's going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. And he's going to end radical ideology like DEI and transgender ideology in our military. And he's doing exactly what he promised American voters he would do. I know that's shocking to a lot of people in
Well,
DC.
I suppose, Mike, there'd be the expectation that, yes, he promised all those things, as you say, but that he would do it within the confines of the law. And the way this country is set up, as you know so well, is there is a separation of powers. So the whole point of that, surely, is that people can challenge some of this before the courts.
Sure, you can challenge this if the president is stealing Congress's Article 1 legislative power, or the president is stealing the Supreme Court's Article 3 judicial power. But what President Trump is doing here is he is exercising core Article 2 executive power, like securing our border, like cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, like ending illegal discrimination in the executive branch. This is core Article 2 power. So if, for example, President Biden can illegally mass parole 15 million people into our country and the Supreme Court did not stop him, how is it illegal for the president to reverse that, for President Trump to reverse that? The answer, it's not, unless you have activist judges who are not exercising judicial review, they're exercising judicial sabotage.
But, Mike, would you think that activist judges, that label that you use, applies to the justices of the Supreme Court? Because the Supreme Court has ruled in the case of one Maryland man, that Kilmar Abrego Garcia, that he should be returned from El Salvador, where he was deported to. The ICE agency has admitted in court there was an administrative error, that he shouldn't have been removed in the first place. But the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, and President Trump himself appointed 3 of the justices there, has said that that individual should be returned, and yet he hasn't been.
Yeah, I mean, you can even be an activist judge on the Supreme Court. I clerked on the Supreme Court for Justice Gorsuch, and these justices are humans. They make mistakes, and they certainly made a mistake on Good Friday when they enjoined the President of the United States, which is not even possible. You can enjoin lower officers other than the president, but you cannot enjoin the president under our constitutional order. And they told the president he cannot conduct military operations to deport illegal terrorists who are in our country, like MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. And the Supreme Court did this without a district court order, without a Fifth Circuit ruling, without a Solicitor General brief. And so these 7 justices, I call them generals, with Commanding General John Roberts and his lieutenant generals, just made it up. They used the All Writs Act and just said that the president is enjoined.
They will absolutely reject that allegation that they made this up. They will say they were applying the Constitution, the laws of this land. But the whole point about many of these cases, and perhaps President Trump will be proven in some of them to have been acting correctly and within his powers, but the issue many people have is that due process hasn't been enjoyed here, and that people have that entitlement, U.S. citizens among them.
Yeah, there is due process. When this Mr. Abrego Garcia, this Maryland father who beat his spouse and had a deportation order, he had a deportation order. He was not in our country lawfully. He should have been deported.
Now,
whether he should have gone to El Salvador,
that has all been challenged by his legal team, and we're not going to litigate his specific case here. It's more the sense of that, I suppose, entitlement or right that American citizens have to challenge rulings, and that's how the justice system is set up here.
Yeah, I don't think that this Mr. Obregon Garcia is an American citizen. He's an illegal alien, and this is how it works under our Constitution.
He isn't a citizen, but I'm just trying to, I suppose, take a step back and get a bigger picture here for the issue of U.S. citizens, which, of course, is who President Trump has said he's fighting for time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, so how it works is illegal aliens do not have constitutional due process rights under the American system. They get due process by statute. So if Congress wants to give illegal aliens due process, it's by statute, but it's not under our Constitution. So, for example, if under the Alien Enemies Acts, the president has not only the Article 2 duty, he also has the statutory power to deport illegal aliens who are working with enemy governments like Venezuela to sabotage our country. And under the Alien Enemies Act, there's not statutory due process. So due process does not exist under statute. Illegal aliens
it's the very application of that act that there are some challenges against as well, which are currently before the court. So we'll await the outcome of those. We'll have to leave it there for the moment, though. Mike Davis, founder of the Conservative Article 3 Project, thanks so much for joining us here on BBC News.
Thank you.